to be honest.
Oh my fuck. Well, there you go. I'm crackly again, to be honest. Thanks very much for that, Luke. You shy bag. Welcome to Or to Know Better. I'm Carl, and I'm joined by the two regulars, Luke and Jay. And I don't know who's doing the banners tonight because
I can do that for you if you'd like, Carl. Would that make life easier for you?
Well, I don't know. Like, it just depends on how, go for it, Jack. Go on.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and then you are listening to the Or to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us again. Luke, thanks for the intro there. Appreciate that.
Anytime,
how's your internet, Jay?
Jesus Christ.
Going as well as always then, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I just don't know what's going on today.
Right,
it's so just already. We've only just started.
Yeah, the technical fault today was my problem, unfortunately. I brag a lot about not having technical difficulties, but tonight was my fuck up, so...
I tell you what, to say Carl and Jay, to say Jay and Matt are the only people who work in IT, they have more internet issues than anybody else in the pod, don't they?
It's because we push the envelope. You guys just use your consumer stuff that you're given as it comes out of the box.
So basically what you mean is you're downloading dodgy content?
No, we're improving our networks and adding repeaters and, there's more technical variables involved.
But the thing is, you're not really if it's always giving you a problem, though.
And if it don't fucking work.
But to be fair, my only issue tonight is that it might freeze slightly, but other than that, we're all good.
Okay, well then, with that in mind, let's get to Jay with the Predictions League.
Oh, for God's sake.
I did warn you about it.
I've got it in front of me. I
thought we've got a bit of a B&C to do first. Why don't we get that out of the way? Let's have a chat about the game.
Why do you always do this? You come in and fuck with shit, man. We were just in case his shit dies. At least we can still talk about stuff.
All right, get it out of the way, Jay.
Get it out of the way, Jay, and then we'll do the
rapper.
And then it'll be sound.
Well, the running order's obviously all over the place tonight because Carl's hosting, and we all knew that this had happened, didn't we, Luke? But yeah, I mean,
you knob.
Predictions League. Does someone want to run the little,
Oh yeah. I just roll it.
Or to Know Better Predictions.
Now I feel like I can do my thing. Okay, so we had a lot of positive predictions this time because everybody thought we were going to go out there and smash them. So there was Jason, who was positive for him with a 1-1 draw. Big Lou from LS11, he's 1-0 Southampton, so he's getting a -5. Si, we didn't get anything off again because he's stuck in trading ground still. Scotty, we didn't hear from.
With Ross McCormack, is
it? On piss. Luke, you went 3-1 Leeds. Carl 2-2 Leeds. Gilly 4-1 Leeds. Bren 2-0. Is
this from the Southampton game or Fulham?
Southampton. We didn't do Fulham.
Do predictions.
Right. Apologies.
Yeah, because I would have got the Cardiff one right, but.
So they all got 1 point. Fans did a 2-2 draw, so got -3. Stats was 2-1 Leeds, Smarty 2-1 Leeds, and me 2-1 Leeds. We all got 3 points. So what that means is the league is looking absolutely fucking awesome because I am 8 points clear at the top. Come on!
It's the first time he's ever been at the top of anything.
To the title. And then there's yourself, Luke, followed by Jason, then Gilly. Then the fans, then stats, Just Joe, Carl, Bren, Smarty, Si, Scotty, and Big Lou at the bottom with a mighty -15. And I don't think even Dennis Wise could save him from that.
Big Lou is clearly doing something on Football Manager.
Who gives a fuck?
He said
I'm staying up.
Fucking love that season, even though it were fucking shite.
It was horrible, wasn't it?
I mean, Big Lou reckoned that Gilly always asks him for a prediction after we've been beaten. He's pissed off, so he'll predict another shit result, basically.
Yeah, but that's the same for all of us.
Yeah.
We all witnessed the same shit result. You can't give that as an excuse. Like,
Carl didn't even used to give one until this season, and he broke, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, was it this? I thought I started last season, was it not?
No. So the season we nearly went down is when Carl started doing predictions, and now we're nearly going down again, and Carl's doing predictions.
See, I fucking told you. I fucking told you.
Right, you know? Well.
So, with that in mind, good job I didn't give an FA Cup prediction because we ultimately lost anyway. Luke, you were down at the game. Myself and Jay watched it on TV and probably have kind of a different viewpoint to yourself as to a few things that maybe went on. Can you give us an old rundown on it, please?
Yeah, man, it was a decent atmosphere. It was all right, you know, and I mean, I've just come off just quickly before we start. I've just come off Joe's. So those of you who've already seen me twice tonight, I do apologize. Just want to give a quick shout out to somebody who is listening and who's watching. They've got their own channel. Who was just on Joe's. They're just short of 1,000 subscribers, so go follow Leeds Bird Rants, and that's Kate. She's lovely. Go give her a follow if you can, and subscribe to her stuff. Some good more Leeds content on there. But yeah, in terms of the Fulham game, then it was as far as Tuesday nights in London go, it wasn't a bad away day. You know, the crowd.
I thought Gilly were here with his graphic.
I was just about to get it, man.
I don't even know where it is anymore. There's that many different graphics in there. There's graphics of me eating breakfast and all sorts. But yeah, look, it was one of them. London Tuesday night, freezing cold. We still took.
We're in London. That's the fucking difference.
Just cut him off in the middle of what he was saying.
He's fine. He's an amateur when it comes to hosting. You know that, Jay. He has to do everything. He has to do everything backwards. He's Irish.
Polished.
No, he's not. He's Italian. Sorry, he's Italian.
No, Scottish. Fucking Scottish.
Scottish.
Apparently, wherever that came from. But sorry,
we will link it in the description, Tom. Just bear with us, and I'll get Jay to do that in a sec. So in terms of the atmosphere and that, not bad for a Tuesday night cup game. Lots of day trippers who probably enjoyed it as much as anybody. I was sat next to two lads, and I think they were father and son combo, and they were the absolute lovely geezers, absolutely lovely. But they were almost like something that should be living in the woods on Happy Gilmore, not Happy Gilmore. What they close to the film called, where his mum cooks like squirrel and that.
The water boy.
The water boy,
yeah. The water boy, yeah.
Lovely lads. And if you're watching this, I'd love to have a pint with you, but you're absolutely fucking bonkers, the pair of you. One of them was chanting, getting to him, and the other one was going, fuck him up, about 10 minutes later. There was no cohesion, there was nobody else singing around, and they were just doing their own thing, enjoying the day out, man. It was good. It was brilliant. And nicknamed Ratty and his dad. So that was their nickname for the day, Ratty and his dad. Brilliant
you
people.
Meet some fucking mad people, you do.
Everywhere I go. But yeah, look, I felt very much that we probably deserved to win that game last night on paper. Not even on paper, on the actual outlook and look, the chances we created. You know, they created 3 chances all game. They scored all 3 of them. One was disallowed. The other 2 worldies that they probably only scored 99 times out of 100. You know, they were great finishers, and there's no taking it away from them. Their fans, absolute dog shit all game. Even at 1-0 and 2-0 up, they were crap. They didn't sell out.
You couldn't hear them, not on TV.
Yeah, they were terrible.
They didn't sell out. It was awful. It'd be embarrassing. I would be embarrassed to be a Fulham fan, honestly. Like, if that's how they were all sat down, it was just, I don't know. I think we're spoiled as Leeds fans because we've got such a character and such an atmosphere, and everyone expects the same of every other Leeds fan, that they almost probably feel embarrassed if one of them stood up and started singing. Do you know what I mean? That's that.
Yeah.
It's the almost polar opposites when you go down places like that. There's a few clubs like it, and look, they get by. It's the way they are. But it was just a shame that we didn't progress. I felt we did enough yesterday. Obviously, didn't do enough, but I felt we did enough probably on any other day to probably come away and be in the draw for the next round.
Yeah. I thought we did as well. Like Jay, I thought Reuter, in my opinion, he did all right in the first half. Had a goal disallowed for what I think was the softest free kick going anywhere else on the pitch. That's probably not given either. I thought it was pure soft, but Reuter unlucky with that goal, and then the header onto the post. Jesus, he's give him time. I think What do you think yourself?
He nearly got there, didn't he? He nearly got the goal that would have settled people's nerves a bit, I think. I won't say silence the doubters because people are right to question an expensive player. But yeah, it would have done him a lot of good. So I did feel sorry for him. And the way that guy, I forgot who the defender was now, but he leapt like a salmon.
Wilson.
Trying to get back to mating pool. Do you know what I mean? They were off.
Mating pool.
I've never seen that like it.
Upstream, innit?
Yeah, exactly. I said it after the last game against Saints when Bamford got penalised for a foul on the keeper because he challenged him for the ball when it was free in the air. And we come back to that thing at Tottenham time and time again when that wasn't a foul, apparently, when Meslier was bundled into the goal by a guy who wasn't even the guy playing the ball, which allowed them to score. But yet we go anywhere near a goalkeeper, we put a hand on a guy in the box. You can't do anything if you're Leeds. And that ref, it was shocking, man. And it's like we just get them all the time. And people are like, oh, it's just sour grapes. No one likes refs, blah, blah, blah. But I remember at the Southampton game, I turned to the guy next to me and I said, I'm sure home teams are meant to have some sort of advantage, but I've never fucking seen it here. And it just happens to us time and again. It doesn't matter if we're home, we're away, wherever we play. We just seem to get morons who are dead set on penalising us at every opportunity. And I don't understand it.
Rasmus got fairly assaulted against Wolves in the league and absolutely done for that. But I think taking away the fact that the ref was shit, we'll try and concentrate a bit more on our performance as such. And I think that we had enough chances to win that game, like Luke was saying. I think at the moment, I was just sitting there last night, just thinking to myself, going like the phases of play, you can see they're starting to come back, but the confidence isn't there in the players just yet after 2 games in charge with the guy and maybe like a week's worth of training, So I think once they start to understand his style of play and where they're meant to be through different kind of, sets within different areas, I think that'll come back. It's unfortunate that we've got, very little games for them to implement that. But I think once we grasp that again, we should see a massive turnaround. The performance last night wasn't bad at all.
No, it wasn't. No, we were the better side for 90% of that game.
Yeah. One graphic Joe brought up was the improvement, and it's worth talking about, worth focusing on, is the improvement in terms of our expected goals against in the last 2 games. I think we've got the lowest in the league, or the lowest it's been, or something along those lines, like 0.2, or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly, but we're not statisticians on here, so we don't really care. But it was lower anyway, and we look. I mean, you look at this, how we lined up yesterday with Ayling at right back, Christensen there, no Wober, so Cook shifted over to the left. and then Junior Firpo, who we'd all written off only this time probably a month ago, so you look at that lineup, and on paper you'd probably expect to have conceded to a team 6th in the Premier League to have conceded 4 or 5 goals yesterday, and we didn't look. We looked tight, and on another day probably wouldn't have conceded any, realistically.
But exactly. Your XG won't be high for those that they score because they don't go in 99 out of 100, like you said, It's not a clear, easy chance. So the XG would have been quite low. They were just fantastic strikes, and it were a shame that they managed to do the same thing twice.
Yeah. But the one thing I noticed about that, bar Christensen coming in for Fulham last night, we've had the same back four for the last what's that? That's 4 games now. We've had the same back four.
You can see the difference.
Consistently better. And Meslier hasn't had to do as much. Granted, against Man United in the second half, we kind of fell away a bit, but that was just purely down to, the lack of knowledge on Scoob's behalf to be able to turn the game around using the subs that we had and stuff like that. And that's no fault on him. He just doesn't have the experience.
Are you talking about the game when he took Harrison and Bamford off and we just stopped having any sort of attacking threat after that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but the back four they've been the same bar Christensen coming in. And I think it goes back to a point I made maybe a couple of pods ago that Meslier is not a bad keeper. He just needs players in front of him to have a consistent run where they can build consistent form,
Yeah.
And I think we're starting to see that going to the point that Luke said about what Joe brought up on his show,
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can see the difference that a settled back four is having. And there's no way I'd be changing any of them at the moment if I didn't have to.
What, even from yesterday? Because we played a different back four. Warburg comes in surely if he was only rested.
Yeah, we were saying before yesterday, like we've had a settled back four for a few games, and you can see the difference. Like, people are getting used to how people play and how to play with them. And when you're chopping and changing, you don't build those understandings, do you? It doesn't matter how good a player you are. You're not going to have the same understanding with the guy next to you as you are if you're playing with him every week.
Absolutely. Just one thing I wanted to touch upon yesterday, how it felt yesterday. I'm not sure how much truth there is in this, but yesterday we seemed to line up in attack with McKennie as the 10 and the normal 4-2-3-1, and then in defence it almost shifted to a 4-3-3. With McKennie, Rocker, and Adams in the middle centrally. Is it first of all, was that right? That's certainly how it looked on the field from my perspective. But is that how it looked on television?
To me, it looked like we had you had McKennie in that kind of further role in that 10 kind of position, but you had it looked like to me they were playing in a straight line where you had McKennie going across the front, and then you had Tyler breaking it up along the middle.
I don't think
then Rocca trying to spray the ball around a bit, like.
Yeah. How did you feel that worked? I think, and I mentioned this only. So sorry, apologies if you've already heard this on Joe's show, but when McKennie was getting the ball into feet, he was with his back to goal, so he was always looking to sort of lay somebody off rather than face to goal and having a shot or looking in front and playing a through ball. And I think the game only changed in terms of momentum and things when we got the ball where we needed it. Was actually when Aronson came on and started fucking. I'm just going to comment out on the
last run of it there. I was waiting for it, man. I was like, I wasn't going to get.
When Aronson came on and played with his eyes up, and we looked far more threatening when that happened. I mean, we had a chances still when McKennie was on the field and playing 10. However, I think we looked far more dangerous when a natural, shall we say, attacking midfielder came on and started playing with his eyes up rather than McKennie, who just tried that little bit too much. I think that midfield three could work of Rocker, Adams, and McKennie, but I don't think it'd work with a 10. I think it'd have to be not of quite a flat three, but one holding and almost two number 8s, box to box types.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, there's nothing really to be ashamed about from that performance. I don't think anybody was overly poor. Probably, if I was to be picky, Christensen. I thought his passing was off, although he did defend relatively well. I thought his passing was pretty shit. And played us under a lot of pressure quite a lot of the time when he was trying. He just seemed to try and play that Hollywood pass a few times too many, rather than giving it simply out to Ayling's feet. He looked through, which is good. It's nice to see him going for the runner, looking at the runner router. But I just felt if it had just delayed it somewhat or played a little bit more sensibly, we wouldn't have invited as much pressure, and we might have just been able to build that additional pressure, which could have potentially led to a goal. So yeah, welcome. I think we've got you to 1,000 now. We've had your shout outs. Do tell us if you've managed to get to 1,000. Well done on that. If so, just to fly through a couple of the comments because I was pissing myself while I was laughing. Matt, thank you for joining us. Hey guys, love the pod. The best time of the week is listening to other Leeds content creators. It helps after a loss, especially. Could not agree more. Thank you so much. Jamie, welcome again. Old Carl's quite knowledgeable. Looks can be Ving. I'm sure that's meant to spell deceiving, but well, yeah. And then my favourite comment so far. Yeah, Carl for the older flans, Jay for the sports guys, and Luke for the ladies, Alison. It's a great channel, which is then followed up by Bully. Luke for the lads too, Jamie. That's what like.
Sounds more like it.
We're an inclusive podcast here. We include everybody.
Yes, we
and then should see you when you do your right said Fred act.
You reckon Luke could bring in the LGBTQ audience, Bully? His kind of sexuality transcends gender. Wicked. So yeah, right. Hey, there's one of you for everybody on here tonight. If
that's right, yeah.
It's like a party in your mouth and everyone's invited.
Well, your ears, in your ears, man.
Charlie FM coming in your ears.
Oh man. Anyway,
so yeah, all in all, then lads, who was your man of the match last night?
Oh God, do you know? I've not even thought about it.
Yeah,
I thought the fullbacks were both. I thought both fullbacks were really good last night, defensively and getting forward. Both Firpo and Ayling. I think if I was to probably pick a man of the match for me, I'd probably go for one of those. I think, or even Robin Koch. I thought he marked Mitrovic out the game. I don't think Mitrovic got a sniff.
Yeah, I thought Koch did well. To be fair,
I thought that was probably one of his best games there. Now, to be fair, up against Mitrovic, it just shows that we might not have much to worry about when we do play them at Ellen Road in a couple of weeks. So that's not too bad.
We'll have to ask him what he thinks, because if he thought Koch did well, and he really did.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Matt Leeds, Somerville was my man of the match. I'm a little. I said in one of the groups, I can't remember. Ayling or Somerville is starting to remind me a bit of Hedy Sacco at the moment. He just can't find that final ball at the moment. He's not finding it. We can sit here and we can chat about it, but he's not finding that final ball. There was one last week against Southampton when he was bulling down the right side, and he a simple ball to square it to, I fucking hate to say it, square it fucking Crescencio to Jack Harrison to make it 2-0. Like, so I'm just a little bit, I'm on the fence about Somerville just at the moment. His end product isn't there for me. He's missed some glorious chances, and we'll have to wait and see,
Yeah,
needs to work a bit harder for me.
Defensively, he does. But I thought yesterday he worked relatively well defensively and supported Ayling, enough. I felt. But yeah, I think he does look almost disinterested sometimes when it's not going his way. But I do think he looked really threatening yesterday in attack, and he worked really, really quite hard. So yeah, I think there's a good mix there of potential man of the matches. One of the debates we've just had was Meslier and his positioning. Can you blame Meslier for any of them goals?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think
you'd have to be very harsh, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
you're really picking at small reasons to blame him for them. Like
those finishes would have beat most keepers.
Yeah, but like the way
they were close to it as well. They were close to him.
Yeah.
But like it's in the cup, darling. It doesn't matter. We're already out.
I think the way we were actually starting to play it out from the back in that
and the beans come
their goal and the beans come. It was well within Meslier's rights to start pushing out, because the defence had as well, because they anticipated that Rocco was going to get on the ball and move forward, but he kind of did this step over and it didn't work, and he got robbed. And then Paulinho, it was just, it was a great finish. It'd
have been really harsh, I think, to blame.
Yeah,
blame anybody but the misplaced pass. I think it was it Tyler Adams or was it McKennie for the first? And yeah, I think it come down to almost trying to play too much in our own half when realistically we should we just fucking clear your lines sometimes. Just get it fucking upfield and then reset. We just sometimes need that little bit of a breather, and don't always have to play 5 passes to get to the halfway line. Between the players in such a small area. So look, very harsh on Mesley. I think anybody who's slamming him after that. Where are we? Where are our thoughts on Javi Gracia then after seeing him for 2 games and where the team is at the moment, Jay? What's your thought?
Positive right now, to be honest. I mean, there were a lot of games we had under Marsh where we feel like we should have won and didn't get anything. So, you could throw back to that. But I think like the shape and everything, you can clearly see it's better. It's more disciplined. It's more solid. You don't see everybody being pulled out of position or chasing the ball or one man or anything. It looks good to me. There's good signs there. And yeah, I mean, it was shit to lose. I were hoping we'd go all the way. But on the other hand, I'm happy that we had an extra game for him to work with the players that's not cost us anything in the grand scheme of things. So I think that's a good thing. And I think he's going in the right direction. You can clearly see a massive philosophy shift in the way the side looks and plays already. So he's clearly getting his ideas across from an early stage, and we look very different to how we looked under Jesse. So he's got to be pleased with that so far.
Yeah. Luke, what do you make of it? Because you were a big advocate for giving Jesse a chance for a long time. I'm not digging you out here now.
No, absolutely,
I just want to know how we're feeling about now.
I felt we were improving under Jesse Marsh anyway. I felt we were getting better. I mean, statistics will show you we were getting better. We still weren't winning games, though, ultimately. Am I enjoying watching us play under Gracia more? Yeah, I think so. I think we're playing with a little bit more freedom. We look a little tighter. And look, again, the statistics don't lie. The last 2 games, I think we've had the lowest XG in the league. So yeah, look, things are looking positive. I think we're almost one roll of the dice or one little short circuit away from being a real good team and a few goals. If we could have got a few goals last night, we'd have blown Fulham away. I think had that first one not been disallowed and the second, and Ruta with a great header in the post. We had Nonto 1-on-1 hitting the keeper. The keeper made a couple of good saves towards the end as well. There was all argument there.
That fucking melee when the ball just won't go in, and there were like 4 or 5 players that go in, and just like everyone were on deck in front of goal.
Yeah,
we should have.
That was the second half, wasn't it?
Yes, I think.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. That was a serious goal mouth scramble.
How did that not end up in the net? Do you know what I mean? We never get lucky in these situations.
I don't know.
Against us, it's a piece of piss to put it in net, but for us going the other way, it seems to be impossible.
I think going back to Luke's point about us just, not getting the rub of the green and whatnot, you could see that the heads maybe dropped once the first goal went in, because we were very much on top.
It was a proper sucker punch.
Oh yeah.
Because won it.
We were even at the point for the first 20 minutes before they scored where we started playing it out from the back like we did a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it was nice to be able to kind of see that already he's given them that little bit of confidence to be able to go.
It was fucking ace to see Melier roll the ball out to someone.
Yeah. And it's not, there's no panic about getting it forward, which is all right. I understand Luke's point as well about, understand when to fucking hoof it up the pitch, and when to play it. So we're slowly grasping it, and I think he's having a positive effect on them already. So I think it looks good going forward.
How do we feel about this comment from Mark? We need to concentrate on the league. Glad we're out of the cup. Less chance of injuries. You know what? Before we sort of got a friendly run in the cup, shall we say, with Accrington and Cardiff, I was very much with that belief. Play the kids, focus on the league. Let's keep league. But you look at the teams that are left in this cup, and if we'd have won last night, I'm just looking at the scores now. Southampton are drawing with Grimsby. Oh no, Southampton are losing to Grimsby 2-1.
Fuck you
Burnley Fleetwood is 0-0. You've got Scum getting beat by West Ham. You've got Sheffield United and Spurs drawing 0-0, and then you've got the teams who went through last night, City, and the others. There was a real opportunity in the cup for us to progress. So it's in hindsight, absolutely, without the cup, great. We can now focus all our attention, all our efforts, all our fitness, all our players on one prerogative and one outcome now, and that's staying as a Premier League football club. However, I think there was a bit of belief, and I hope that's shared that we probably realistically could have gone a lot further in this cup had performance reflected the result reflected the performance last night.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I can't what I'd say to that is, Luke, is that even though, look, we're out and we can concentrate in the league, wins build confidence. You know, regardless of what cup they're in or anything like that. Exactly. If it was a case that we got a win last night, that's 2 wins on the trot. That's nearly equal in what we've done all under a manager, previously. That's already equaling a winning streak that he provided. So these things that they do build confidence, and I get both sides of the argument, but imagine getting to like a semi-final and even if it's a semi-final at Wembley.
Yeah, great, Mark. We weren't digging you out with that at all.
No, not at all.
And completely get your perspective. And if we were comfortably mid-table or whatever, you wouldn't mind an FA Cup run. But the game is about winning trophies, and that would have been a ticket to Europe, whether it got relegated or not. But I think it's the FA Cup and certainly the other cup, the one that Scum have just won. They've almost lost their way because there's so much money on staying in the Premier League, and it's worth so much to football clubs now. They almost disrespect it somewhat because, well, that's probably a lie. I would say some of the clubs disrespect it because their focus and their prime objective is to stay as a Premier League football club, and that's why we see so many giant killings and similar, but. But I still feel that I would have liked to have gone to kept progressing in that cup last night. So
I would too. I mean, like people have said, winning breeds confidence, and also I just feel like if with teams like City still in there, you probably aren't going to win it. But there's no to say we couldn't have got a trip to Wembley, and the atmosphere and the lift around the club that would have given, I think, could have spurred us on in the league. It was just made everyone positive, and everyone would be buzzing. Do you know what I mean? So I think that would have done us a lot of good personally.
Last time we were at Wembley,
it's 10k Leeds fans in the Donny end.
2006 was it?
8, I think.
7 or 8. Something.
I thought it was 8.
Was it Hater, wasn't it, who scored against us? I was in the Donny end that day.
I was in the Leeds end
behind the goals. And we all just took over the back of behind the Donny end. It was absolute. They wouldn't even brand new Wembley, in fact. So it was the year Wembley was just been built. I think we were one of the first games to play in it, and they wouldn't even let us go out onto the thingy for a wee or anything. So everyone, not me, obviously, but other Leeds fans and that congregate behind the goal were all weeing over new Wembley. So that was a bit of a claim to fame.
I was in Galway drinking Buckfast, about to throw myself into the fucking river down at Spanish Arch. So I'll
never forget that game.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was 2008, you're right, yeah.
But Casper Ankergren in net that day.
Yeah. Nearly like one.
Was it James Hayter who scored the winner, didn't it? Was it a header?
It was some poxy. It was a save from Ankergren that kind of fell into his path, I think.
Didn't we end up 2-0 down after about 30 minutes or something?
No, we only lost 1-0, didn't we?
We only lost 1-0.
I can't remember. I went to a game and we were at least 2 down.
It was Watford the year after we got relegated, probably, in Cardiff. But anyway, look, we'll move swiftly along. We've no Paul tonight because, we had
Klitsch's left.
Yeah, we had no, we had plenty to talk about because we had to do B and C and all that as well. So what we'll do is we'll just swiftly move on. Maybe talk about the year anniversary.
He doesn't have a fucking clue what next, does he?
I do. I was going to go either with just a quick chat about Marcelo, or I was going to go on to the next game. But
do whatever you like, mate. Whatever makes you happy.
You're the host, mate. You make a choice.
Let's go on to the next game, and we'll have a quick chat at the end about Marcelo. So we've got Chelsea away. Are we about to get Chelsea sacked 2 managers? this season.
I feel like he's got to get sacked after they get beat by Brighton, just for poetic justice, to be honest with you.
Oh, is that what you're hoping for? Have you put money on that? It sounds like you put money on that.
No, I haven't, but I'd like to think we could put something towards that, give him a good contribution.
Yeah.
He was the twat that won't sell us Ben White, so he can go fuck himself.
Oh, you're out for blood, you are, aren't you? Anyone off down to it?
No, I missed the tickets going on sale, so no chance.
Yeah.
I'd like to have gone. I've never been to the Stamford Bridge, so.
All right, yeah, sure.
I'm having a weekend off. I'm doing a microdose at the minute, so I'm staying away from all alcohol and everything else.
Yeah,
fucking hell.
Flying away there now, not a bother.
You'll be shaking by Friday night.
No,
I'm not even allowed caffeine. I'm not even allowed caffeine to fuck all.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm trying to avoid. I'm going to Brighton at home. I'm going to who else we got coming up? We've only got 3 games, haven't we? And then we've got the international break. We've got Chelsea,
Brighton, Wolves, right?
Brighton,
Chelsea,
Wolves,
Brighton.
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah, I think so.
Or is it?
Let
me check.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So yeah, look, I think in terms of sort of going down to Chelsea, I think now is as good a time as any to play them, other than when we played them earlier this season and beat them 3-0. But they didn't look much. I mean, they've obviously strengthened somewhat since then in buying the Ukrainian lad Mudryk and
on your own there, man.
Mudryk. Who else have they signed? They signed somebody else, didn't they? They spent a lot of money on.
They signed
João Felix,
like 100 million.
João Felix on loan,
and then there's Nunes. They had or is it Felix? No,
is it Felix?
João Felix. Yeah,
João Felix.
I don't know.
There was another chap. He was Argentinian.
They signed someone for like £100 million, didn't they?
From Porto, was it?
Oh, Enzo Fernandez.
That's
the one. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
yeah. So yeah. Look, they've clearly strengthened, but it's not helping them. They're not playing very. They're not playing very well. So it is a great time to play Chelsea away. I mean, it's not nice. Yeah. It's not a great place to go, Stamford Bridge. It's dingy. It's all a bit old school, and it's a tough place to go as an away side. But I think they're the lowest scorers in the league since November.
Would you believe I was just about to pop out something that I heard there on a radio show that shall not be named? One of the presenters turned to the other presenter who just happened to be ex-Chelsea, and he was like...
Is this a joke?
No, this isn't a joke. This is an actual stat. Real Madrid have scored more goals in England since the turn of the year than Chelsea have.
Wow. That's fucking bonkers, isn't it?
Their goal of the month for February was just of one person. I think it was João Felix scoring.
So there's no middle ground now. We're either going to beat them narrowly, or they're going to
double their tally for the year against us. Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. So
it's going to go one or two ways. But I'll tell you what, I'm relieved because I thought after that Tottenham match they might sack him, and I thought we'd be playing Chelsea with a new manager bounce and we'd get fucking ruined, and that'd be just our luck.
I did think that now myself, like, because there's just it would have been typical of our season for that to actually happen, like, you know what
exactly.
I mean? So you're kind of sitting there going, Jesus, we might have actually caught a lucky break here for once, you know.
That's happened sooner or later.
Yeah, I just in relation to the team that might line up, we said that the defence would probably go back to Verber being in there. I was kind of shocked to see him in against Southampton with the news of kind of a shoulder dislocation and potentially out for a while. I liked that Xavi didn't mention it in his press conference when asked about injuries. I like that he doesn't say an awful lot. He gives you the information that he feels you need, and then he just cuts it off, whereas Marsh just walked himself into so many fucking holes. You just took the ladder away and you said, keep digging, dude, keep digging. You
and
know?
Bielsa gave him the team on a Friday.
Yeah, you know, so it's kind of refreshing to just
we've tried it all.
Like. So maybe he's one of these managers that's into blagging it a bit if he's not going to tell you if they're saying, oh yeah, shoulder dislocation out, fucked. Meanwhile, he's back in.
Yeah, I quite like that too, Carl. I like that there's a little bit cloak and dagger. He doesn't give too much away. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was very, very bold and cocky of Bielsa to do that, but it worked. So why not? You know, it didn't make any difference because they couldn't do it. They couldn't. I mean, obviously they could towards the end, but when he first did it, everyone was like, "What the fuck's this guy up to?" Like, he's just basically telling him how we're going to play and who's going to play where.
Yeah.
But they couldn't stop it there and then. Now, as Jay said, there we're at the opposite end of the spectrum, and we're almost lying about who is fit, and I like that. I like that little bit of shithousery, a little bit of, you know.
Yeah, make them guess, make them work for it.
Yeah, I think it's quite a schneid little tactic to be using as well, because you're given little bits of information, you're answering little bits of questions, but you're just keeping it solely to yourself, which I think we lost a bit with Marsh, because he just talked himself into fucking all sorts of shite.
Yeah, Skip's got the lineup there for me.
You think Rudder starts ahead of Bamford?
I think he should.
Yeah.
I don't think whether he will or not. I'm not sure, but I think that would be my lineup in a 4-3-3 though. Would I change it that much? Actually, I don't know. The one thing I might change about that is McKennie, because I thought Aronson looked really good when he came on again. Again, this was another debate we've already had, but Aronson almost looks like a better player when he's coming off the bench.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I'd also say, do you think it's because we're not playing as narrow, and when he does play or come in central, he's finding those little pockets of space because we're actually making the pitch wider, and that's giving him more time on the ball? You know, so maybe that's something that we can look into. You know, maybe having him just in there looking for those little pockets of space in between the midfield and their back four. Could be something to look at. But I do agree that he has been better coming off the bench, but that could also coincide with the fact that we're playing wider. So, you know, I don't think I'd start him. I think I would, if we're playing wider, bring him off
Aronson. The problem, the other flip on the sort of on the other side of the coin of that though, Aronson has played his better games earlier on in the season against the so-called better teams and the bigger sides and the teams who like to play a bit of football. And arguably, if I remember correctly, I think Chelsea was probably one of his best games for us when we beat him 3-0. So look, it's nice to have options. I think is a bit of a bonus.
I thought, not to go back to Fulham too much, but I just thought that was probably the strongest second string cup game team that we've fielded in about
without doubt.
In about fucking 20 years, like, you know what I mean? So you're kind of looking at, and the bench was okay as well. And it's nice to see Archie Gray back. Apparently, he's been
great
pressing.
Great point. Yeah,
school holidays.
Well, there's that. They're probably on. The teachers are probably on strike, man. Don't worry about it.
Can you believe
he can go to the away day?
Can you believe Archie Gray's been injured that long and he's still not 17 until next week?
Oh yeah, he'll fit right in at Leeds.
That's mad, but it is nice that he is impressing Xavi. I think he's someone that we definitely need to nurture, like the way Pep did with Foden. I think if we can get a good ethos into the club regarding the football style that we're playing again, maybe it'll work out better rather than sending them out on loan to get kicked around, you know.
It'd be interesting to see if the 49ers stick with our current youth recruitment policy. I'll try to ship in loads of American kids with it.
See, this is the other side of the coin. We could probably see, not to get away from talking about the Chelsea game, but we could start to see LUFC academies all over the United States, like little camps everywhere in the bigger states where, well, it'll be, what was it, Wisconsin? How
contradictory is this? Aronson is about as useful as about as much use as brake lights on a submarine. Keep him as an impact sub. So bring him up for impact, but he's as useless as a brake light on a submarine.
I think he just means if he has to watch him, he'd rather only watch him for 20 minutes than
I know
90.
what it means. Well, we just mentioned the 49ers there, and I know we are still talking about the Chelsea, but Michael Brown popped this in earlier, and I don't know what people make of this. Those people that criticise Radzonauta for not having a manager in place to replace Marsh, they had no one in place because it was a 49ers decision to sack Marsh. Rads and Orta had no plan to sack him. So, I mean, you've got to look at it as a bit of devil's advocate here. If they didn't have any plan to sack him, why? But also, you'd think the two were talking to each other at some level or stage to actually, well, they've had to do because the 49ers wouldn't be able to sack Marsh because they don't have control of the club.
I was going to say, how does a 49% shareholder sack the manager without the 51% shareholder having any say on it? They might have used leverage to get it done, but they would have still had to speak to him.
Yeah, agreed.
See, wasn't there a story going around that Orta was fully back in Marsh before he got sacked? Well, yeah, but before he got sacked. So maybe when he got sacked, the 49ers might have come in and gone, right, it's going to cost the club 10 million to sack him. Maybe we pay that 10 million and it doesn't cost the club anything. We want him gone because we don't want to be in the fucking
We'll never know. We'll probably never know what's
Speculate.
We'll
Speculate
never know,
to accumulate.
Before we had that little run where we had the result against Liverpool and, nearly beat Spurs and all that, beat Chelsea. When Angus got stopped in the car park by those fans and they demanded answers from him, he didn't look or sound like a man who thought they were going to be sticking with Jesse Marsh at that point. So I don't want to hear anything about him never having had any doubts. There were clearly doubts there. His body language was all that of somebody who just couldn't get away fast enough. And he felt like a shithouse because he had a hand in bringing that man here and doing that to us,
His answers would have not sounded out of place in Parliament. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Just
you know what I mean?
Trying to say nothing while speaking a lot.
Yeah.
He didn't look like a guy who was convinced by his manager, did he?
Everton are getting beaten 3-0. Liverpool Wolves still 0-0.
We might have a little chat about the bottom six.
It's the weekly Winston's comment from Skip. Rumours going round, daughter who's buying Winston's.
Does that mean we get in on our season tickets, does it?
Maybe the waiting list will get even longer.
Shit, right. I saw listening to a few clips of Chelsea fans after their game the last day he's had. Oh, Jesus Christ. Are we descending into debauchery again on this fucking podcast?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, hopefully Winston's will start paying us soon.
Right.
We should probably go back to the Chelsea game, Carl.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I tried saying it 2 or 3 times there, but then there was shit put up there that I had to read,
It's all better. We don't stay on track here. We go off the rails.
Yeah. Yeah, just to go back, I was listening to a few clips of Chelsea fans after their game last weekend and stuff like that, and one of them said that Kante had come back and been away so long that the team had completely changed and he didn't have a fucking clue what to do when he came in. They were saying he looked like a rabbit lost in the headlights. So if he's back and fully fit and he's feeling like that in that midfield, that can only bode well for us, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They've got, I don't think Havertz is ever going to pull up trees at this stage. He's not doing it for them. Now I'm going to probably get, shit now on Saturday at 5 o'clock if we lose because I'm saying this, but
the Irish curse.
Oh yeah, well when they say the look of the Irish, it could be you just got run over. That's the look of the Irish. Or it's like you won £1 million. That's the look of the Irish. It's like it goes both ways. Like
it does.
But yeah, so I'd like to think that if there's players within their ranks looking and feeling like that while playing in the team, again, psychologically we can take advantage of that, and the fans will play a big part in that as well. If you can silence Stamford Bridge, one of the most fucking horrible places on the planet, like that's psychologically going to play into our hands big time. Their fans getting frustrated, they lose
100%.
Like apparently we're in a relegation battle, right? But if we beat them, right, we're only 6 points behind them. So what does that leave them in? Like it leaves them in the shit.
Yeah, it's bizarre when you're in. What the hell is Luke doing?
Yeah, what are you doing, man?
Stop pissing around, man.
I'm trying to sort yourself. I sort something out. Just continue. You're all right.
Put yourself on mute there, will you?
Yeah.
You lunatic. Look at him sitting there microdosing away, not a bother on him.
That's it. Completely fucking forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I mean, fuck knows what we were talking about them being unsettled, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
The fans,
they're having a bad season. Yeah, and the fans, some of them are still thinking, no, we're going to get top 4. They've got no chance. It's going to be interesting to see what all those players have signed are saying next season when they're not playing Champions League football, because you'd imagine a lot of them have got the egos of people that think they deserve to be there regardless, So that's going to cause some rumblings there. There's going to be players there who are already concerned that they're not going to be in Europe and they're moaning. It doesn't take long for stuff like that to start. And when you've got a manager who's been portrayed by the media as this weak man who's too nice,
Liverpool are winning.
Okay, you do wonder like how much that affects the players and how much they respect him, And I don't think any of it's helping him. And as an aside, even though I'm sort of digressing slightly, it fucks me right off how the British media treat British managers. I mean, you've got shit ones like, well, I won't say it because I'll look a fucking
Alan
idiot.
Kirbishley.
If it goes the other way, but you know what I mean. You get shit ones, but yet the press, when you get a good one, they tear him to fucking bits, man. They hold him to a higher standard than they do foreign coaches. It's like foreign coaches come in, they've got more cachet because they're foreign and they've won stuff in other countries, and somehow they command respect because of that. But you get a British coach who's worked his way up the ranks like Potter, and they just can't wait to smash him, lay into him, and talk about him being a failure and tearing him to shreds.
Know what I think about
they're
Chelsea?
asking him shit questions about his mental health and his family and stuff. It's bollocks, man.
No, I completely agree.
That.
But this is what I think about Chelsea.
Excuse me, boss. What team do you support? What, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Fuck Chelsea. Chelsea shit.
Yeah?
Fuck Chelsea. What?
Fuck you.
Fuck Chelsea.
Fuck you.
Fuck
twat.
Chelsea, pussy or what? Say something.
Go on,
Fuck
listen,
Chelsea.
Fuck you,
Fuck Chelsea.
That was my visit to Stamford Bridge last year.
Fair enough.
Fuck Chelsea.
Just this comment from Blazed Ray says Sean Dyche gets a lot of praise. He does. He's one of the few that does, though, and he gets praised for being gritty and getting teams out of shit. He doesn't he's not somebody that they talk about should have a top job or he should be England manager or anything like that. So it's still, it does get praise, but it's relative praise.
You say that about English managers, but it's if the face fits. Look at how Gerrard and Lampard are treated as English managers.
Yeah, but they're ex-players who were heroes as players. And they weren't treated well when they started out, at least. It's only when things have kind of turned on them a bit that you get some sections of the media questioning them. But they're still mostly backed by the media for the most part. Never seen anything about Lampard and his fucking turd on the dressing room floor. You don't see anything about that. There's no outrage, but yet we've got a guy standing watching training. That's the worst thing that's ever fucking happened. Some people are just media darlings. They're ex-players. That's a different situation to me. Like people like Potter and Dyche and people like that, they're not people who were massive star players. So I think they get treated differently and they have to work hard to prove themselves.
So
no goal for Liverpool.
So there's an or to no bitter section at the end. It might be filled a little bit now with something that we've been chatting about there. We kind of digressed again there and whatnot, but the Chelsea game, Luke, what do you think our chances are down there, man? What do you think?
I think we've got to be going down there positive. Look, we since we've had Gracia come in, we've beaten Southampton. We probably should have beaten Fulham in the cup with arguably a weaker side. And Chelsea, they're the out of form team in the league. They're even more out of form than us, arguably. So I mean that's probably not factually correct, but yeah, I think it's a great time to play them, and I want to come out of there with probably at least a point. Do I think we can take all three? I think it'd be a snatch and grab, but yeah.
Okay, so Jay,
fair enough.
Just before we go on to predictions, and we can go into a bit of it.
I'm just looking at the form table now. Chelsea are 15th and we're 19th, so they're not considered much better than us. I think in terms of trajectories, I think we're I say this cautiously, but I think we're on an upward trajectory now, and Chelsea are still very much on a downward trajectory. So, with that in mind, I think we will win. I don't know why. I'm going to shit myself all the way through the game waiting for them to score, but just the way they've been playing, and I think we're starting to gel a bit and look more like a cohesive unit that's going to be hard to beat going forwards. If we can sort out the goals at the other end, we'll be golden, man. I think we're starting to look solid. So
just one click away, innit? It's just one. It's almost like there's just that one little bit of the puzzle missing.
Yeah, that's it. If there was someone up front banging them in, we'd be fucking laughing.
And I think that's why I mentioned about starting Rutter, just because I think he offers far more than Paddy Bamford in terms of his athleticism. Don't get me wrong, Paddy Bamford is an awesome footballer and he's been really good for us, but he hasn't been the same player since these injuries. He hasn't. He came back, he had a bit of a cameo at Accrington, everyone got excited again. But realistically, Rutter is the future of this football club. My only concern...
Well, he's going to have to be in here for the fee we paid. He's not going anywhere anytime soon.
But my only concern with that is, Jay, it's a lot to ask of a young lad that with a big transfer fee to play up top on his own against world-class centre-backs against Chelsea. You know,
just because he costs a lot of money doesn't mean that he's any more equipped to handle the pressure.
We paid for his potential. We didn't
Matteo
pay for his
Joseph or Sonny Perkins or Joffe.
But again, we paid for his potential, not necessarily his current football ability. We paid for how good he might be. So yeah, look, I don't know. How do you feel, Carl? Do you think we'll get a result down there?
Just 1 second. I'm frozen on my end at the moment, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I think if we can play with the same back four that we got the win against Southampton with, I think if Xavi kind of shithouses a bit of information regarding anything like that, I think if we can put away at least one of I think we had 8 or 9 good chances against Fulham. If we can put 1 or 2 of them away and do a Man City snatch and grab type scenario, I think we can actually get a result down there at the weekend.
I'm sorry, some of these fucking comments, Carl, are doing me in here.
I can't fucking see anything, man.
Jamie, Luke's always positive. Bully B. Jamie borders on delusional at times, but he's a top lad. Jamie, I agree, Bully. He's the sexiest of the bunch. There you go.
I'm going to have to come out for a minute, lads.
And the best one here, Bully B. He's hung well too, Jamie.
Who you been speaking to? Who you been speaking to?
I don't know how well you and Bully know each other, but it's obviously a bit better than he knows the rest of us. So, you know.
I think Carl's struggling. He looks like
I'm fucking losing me shit here. What I'm seeing now, right? You're probably seeing
Liverpool have won up.
This.
Good stuff.
But all I can see is nothing. It's just frozen on me here, so I can't even move.
Keep talking. We can see you fine.
Yeah, we can see you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me now? Yeah, I can hear you. It's fine.
Then you're all right then. Don't worry. It's all good. You don't need to see anything.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Shall we get into the predictions for Sunday?
Yeah. Yes, that was the next place.
The natural progression from talking
The natural progression is to go straight.
Auto know better predictions.
Are you taking these down, Jay?
I was just going to say, hang on, am I writing these down, seeing as I got past the predictions?
Sheffield United are one up as well.
Okay, now, man, what's going on? We should have seen bloody cup.
Scum are beating West Ham, though, 2-1 now.
Bastards. Right, let's have these predictions. I'll write them
Come
down.
on then, Carl.
I'm going with...
Is he gone?
I'm just checking something here, man. I'm going with the bleeding 2-1 Leeds.
What's this podcast?
I'm genuinely I can't see anything.
From the fans, we've got Danny Rumsey. We've got 2-1 Leeds.
I'll go on
as well.
I'll note the fans.
There you go. He's got it on.
I'm going to go for 1-1.
Okay. It's bold. Now, I was going to go 2-1, but everyone's done 2-1. So that makes me...
We should have made him go first, shouldn't we? We should have made him go first.
I would have just gone 2-1, to be honest. But now I'm thinking I need to do something different.
Are you thinking 3-1, are you?
I don't... No, I'm going 2-1. I'm going to. I don't think we've got 3 goals in us at the moment. So no.
Until it clicks, and then we're going to be goals galore.
We are, yeah.
Oh shit, yeah.
It's going to be fucking mint.
Yep.
I hope it happens this season.
Where do we all stand? Where do we all stand then? I know with the predictions are done now, we've taken everybody's, but where do we all stand then as it stands? Do you? I know when I asked everyone last week or when I was ever last on, if we were going to be relegated, the majority felt we were down pretty much then at that stage. Do you both still feel the same?
Oh God, I feel like we're going to be okay, but only just.
Yeah, I'm quietly optimistic.
I'm willing to go.
Yeah,
I did think we were down. I thought we'd fucking blown it here, but at that point we didn't have the new manager, did we? It was after Everton when we talked about that, wasn't it?
It was, and we hadn't played against. We hadn't beaten Southampton at that stage, so I think that was the last time I asked.
So it's a bit of a different picture now. We've got a different manager, and he looks like he actually knows what he's doing and how to play Premier League football and get results. So, yeah, I think we'll be okay, but I think it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I'm quietly confident that we'll stay up. But I think the style of football that we're starting to look like we're playing is far more progressive and better than what we've been watching. So yeah, I'm quietly confident.
But it's going to be fucking hard to watch at times. But results.
Like I was saying, man, if we can put half of the chances we had against Fulham away against the teams that were expected to kind of play well against and beat, then it's not going to be an issue. We just need to start putting that ball in the back of the net,
Yeah, exactly. That's our problem now. It's like for so long we were worried about the defence, and touch wood, it looks like we've made what the fuck's going on there? Touch wood, it looks like we've made progress in that department, and we are starting to look better. So,
what's going on? I can't see anything. You've told me to stay here. I can't see a fucking thing.
For the audio listeners and Carl, Luke keeps putting up a weird picture of himself with what looks like some kind of sauce on his head.
It's breakfast. It's a breakfast on my head.
Is he doing that again? Don't do shrooms before the podcast.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah, so whatever I just said, that's what I think.
Yeah,
it's gone now.
Sound. Well, I want to go on a bit of a rant now for Orton No Bitter, just in case anyone's thinking that it's over just yet. I know I can't see anybody.
We've still got another bit to do as well, haven't we, at the end?
Oh yeah.
Orton No Bitter with Rachel Adedeji.
Take it away, Carlos.
This is doing my fucking head in. You complain about not having good coaches, but you don't look at the source of why you don't have good up-and-coming coaches. And you're relying on all of these ex-players to be the next fucking England manager. Your coaching badges are far too fucking expensive. You're pricing
rant this time.
No, it's not. It's not. I'll give you examples as to why it's not, right? You charge too much. The FA charge far too fucking much to get your badges. To go for your UEFA B, it's something like £1,600. You can go and do it in Germany for £8. Yeah? Why are all the good coaches coming out of Germany? It's because they can fucking afford to do it. If you want to complain and sit here about no good English coaches and Potter's the next thing and fucking Eddie Howe should be managing England, you've got 2 guys that you can call reputable coaches that are English at the moment that could manage the England team. The reason that you have no good coaches coming through the system is because the FA charge far too fucking much. And another thing that I discovered from coaching over here is that the fucking thing is so fucking... It's who you know whether you get onto a UEFA B course, or it's who you know when you get onto UEFA A course. It's bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. And the only way you're ever going to have good coaches in this country that are young, up-and-coming English coaches is when the FA take their fingers out of their fucking holes, reduce the price and make it more affordable. Approach clubs, Premier League clubs, get them set up with apprenticeships where you've got coaches that pay for the fucking badges through an apprenticeship within the club, and then they've got them coaches coming all the way through the levels, up to first team, whatever else, doing whatever. They haven't a fucking clue how to go about getting proper coaches within the country. The only thing they see is fucking money. And that's it. And that's why you don't have good, young, up-and-coming coaches. One of the best coaches in Europe at the moment is an Englishman who doesn't even have his UEFA fucking A or Pro license. And the club is Rennes, I think. They're getting fined €25,000 per game for having him on the sideline. Where did he do his badges? Not in fucking England. All right.
Hey,
so
we spoke about this guy, didn't we? The other week,
we fucking
Jay,
did. Yeah.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah,
you can't beat a good Scottish rank, Carl.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's the only people to blame for you having no coaches is your own FA. They price coaches out of the game.
Like they do. Yeah,
that's him. Will Still.
Will Still. Yeah, that's the chap. Yeah, and like they go on about Lampard and Gerrard and this and that. They're the fucking shite, man. Lampard did his thing up in Scotland for 5 minutes. Sure, I could go up there and manage in that Mickey Mouse league.
And it's Gerrard.
Back
in your
hometowns, in your home
confused
country.
with him.
That's it. I'm up in Aberdeen and all that, you know. But if you ever want to see good English coaches again, you need to keep them in the country, make it affordable, start schemes where young players who aren't going to make it in the game, if they want to do coaching, get them on a scheme through a fucking club that they've been rejected from, get them working for the club, get them building their career, do it that way. The FA have it arseways.
I think you're onto something there, and I also think they should do something similar with referees. I think referees should be ex-players, regardless of level. I think the referees should have played at least a level of football, whether it be amateur,
county football,
whether it be amateur level, whether it be semi-professional. Referees who try and manage a game having never kicked a ball and not, it's near on impossible for them to get some decisions accurate, because they don't take it. Like the push. Let's use the push for instance. Yesterday, the push on McKennie was that McKennie pushed on Harrison. That was not a push. If they're penalising that as a penalty, as a foul for the attacking side, there would be a penalty the opposite way around. Every corner taken, every corner.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's worse than that.
Definitely.
So
he didn't do any. He didn't put any force into it. He put his hand against the guy. He didn't push him. He just put his hand on him. And the guy did like a salmon.
Also, that twat Mitrovic did exactly the same thing in the lead up to their second goal, but because it was a phase of play after that, Solomon scored. He didn't get looked at, and Ayling was trying to get him checked. I think it was Ayling anyway.
But you could see it on TV. He was arguing with the ref about getting it checked. Like,
the problem is, you've got people that get bullied at school follow one or two paths in life. They either become a copper or they become a referee. So that's why they're all so pissed off all the time and trying to exert their authority on games.
Comment of the night coming from Jammy here. Carl's great with a face that tells 1,000 tales, bully. He must have had a lot of dogs on his paper round.
I'm just fucking.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Look, at the end of the day, right? I have a point with what I was saying, and yes, I do. I could tell 1,000 tales, but you fuck it. I'll only tell one tonight, and we leave it at that.
Man.
I'm crying, me. That's fucking tickling me.
Right, lads. On that note, have we got anything else? I think Luke, you mentioned something that we might have to do at the end. Was it the Marcelo year on thing?
Yeah, I think it was just how we all feel 1 year on from obviously that the anniversary of Bielsa's sacking was this week. So yeah, I mean, we obviously all miss him. We all loved Marcelo. The club probably hasn't progressed as much as we'd probably expected with the removal of such an icon and a legend of the club. So where are we? Do we think we'd probably be a much better off position from sacking him? Excuse me.
We don't know, do we? Because we don't know whether we would have stayed up or not.
Don't take the piss.
No, exactly. But
that's the problem. But I don't feel like in a in a regular sense of the word, I don't think we've progressed. I've not enjoyed watching Leeds in the same way since.
No, it's been difficult, hasn't it? It has been difficult, and I've tried. I personally, I've tried taking as many positives out of the last year as I can since Marcelo left. But I don't think we'll ever truly see anything like that at a football club ever again. You know, not just our football club. I just think in general, I don't think we'll ever see anything of that stature and somebody to come in and make such an impression, not just on the club, on a city, and not just on a city, on just, you know, everybody who supported Leeds was talking about Marcelo Bielsa. People who didn't support Leeds were talking about Leeds. People who, you know, it was just a weird time to be alive. It was almost like we're living in a you know, another realm where people actually liked Leeds United, which was mad. And we hated it. We hated that, didn't we? We hated that.
One bit.
People say they live and breathe football, but then you meet Bielsa, and it's just a different level,
different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you do want to cry, if you do want a good cry, and you've only just started listening and watching to us, there is a video we did called "Gracias Marcelo," which was out about this time last year. I'm not sure how far down. I think, can we get it promoted to the top and bump it up or something like that to the top?
Well, I think Jay put it out the last night.
Yeah, we retweeted it the other day.
Well, you can have a look at
it's on Twitter.
But yeah, again, even 1 year on, gracias Marcelo, because without him, I don't think we probably we wouldn't have been here to tell these tales today about a Premier League football club for me. We'd
still be languishing. Would have been hovering around mid-table in Championship at best for the last 3 years.
There's no way anyone else gets us promoted with the players that we had and that he inherited. No way. I'm sorry. No. I don't care. Don't care who you think you are. No one proved it. That's one thing that I noticed about the elite managers and all that. They all fucking went into clubs with money. They never did anything else. They never went to a club like Marcelo wasn't interested in. Well, obviously he got paid well, but you know the money side of things wasn't. What
but even then he took his own salary and divvied it up with his staff.
That's what I mean.
People out of it.
But you talk about these top managers. None of them would touch us with a barge pole because they'd be afraid it would be a blot on their record. Whereas Marcelo was more, this would be a positive blot on my record. This is the kind of blot I want on my record. You know, getting this club promoted, getting this city back on the world footballing map. And it didn't take very long for that to happen when he came along. So, but anyway.
I feel like we had a succession of owners who just didn't really understand what Leeds United was. And I feel like aiming for people like Steve Evans and the likes, you know, Darko fucking Milanic, Dave Hockaday, it shows a lack of understanding. And, you know, people have always liked to level at us. Oh, we think we're massive and all this. We are fucking massive. When we were outside the Premier League, we were without any doubt at all the biggest club in the Championship. So if other clubs could get good managers, why were we fucking around with idiots?
I have a theory around that. I think it's because the people that own the club don't actually know what it means to be Leeds, and they got very lucky hiring Marcelo, who actually educated them as to.
Oh, you mean the current owners? Okay.
Yeah, the current owners.
I thought you meant the previous ones that I was on.
That was just a fucking waste of space anyway. The current owners got lucky, and it was Marcelo that made them or helped them understand what it was to be Leeds. For them. You know.
When he came in and he got the training ground sorted, he got other stuff sorted. He said, "We need this, this, and this." He knew what needed to be done, and he led the board. And they just followed blindly and did as he asked, which, to the credit, you know, was the right thing to do for the most part. But
they had no choice.
Yeah, they didn't make an amazing decision. They got lucky.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they probably did the research and they got lucky getting him. I think. I don't think there's many people.
What research do you have to do? Like you open Football Manager and you check out the Bielsa press and you go, right, I want that fucking guy. That's what I want. That get him.
You know, rumor has it that he got his grenade out when he was watching one of Jesse Marsh's Leeds games. My wife had to take it off him before he blew TV up.
I too.
I think people. I think just to sort of close on the Bielsa bit, it's a part of our history now that people will talk about fondly. You know, like the Wilkinson the days under Wilkinson and before that Revy. So it's a although it wasn't at the top level, it was almost the resurgence of us, and providing we can concrete this Premier League status now for this season, certainly going into next, then we can continue to build on that legacy. I think we've had a rough 12 months, and I'm sure he probably wants what's best for everybody associated with Leeds, apart from maybe one or two that we won't name. We won't name.
Yeah.
So, welcome to Australia, mate. Australia, mate. G'day.
Good eye.
Hi, gents. My first time here, albeit late. The people that don't lament Bielsa don't comprehend his contribution. Yep, spot on.
Absolutely.
Mike Jones, great night, lads. All the best. The best Leeds YouTube channel on here. Fun and seriousness.
Cheers, Mark.
And I think Mark, on that note, what do you reckon?
Yeah,
Call it.
I think that's it.
Night, gents.
I think that's
Thanks
it.
everybody for joining us. Go on, Carl.
Yeah.
Finish us off.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say
don't
thanks
finish
for
me off.
joining
Don't
us.
finish me off. Finish us off.
Here.
Right.
Keep that thought
There's
in your
people in
head.
comments waiting to do that for you, Luke.
Yeah. Look, thanks for joining us. Keep an eye out on either Saturday or Sunday for B&C, and we'll catch you again after.
It can't be me again.
It probably will be no day off, Jay. Take care.